Hi, everyone. I wanted to take a minute and share with everyone something that I call a divine download. I received it back in August, but I haven't felt like it was the right time to share until now. But first, a little bit of context. Do you all know who Carl Jung is? He's one of the fathers of modern psychology. Carl Jung talks about the shadow side of our personalities. He says that the shadow personifies everything that the subject refuses to acknowledge about himself. And I think that that can be applied to our collective consciousnesses too. So, what does this have to do with formerly incarcerated people or people who are currently incarcerated? I think that people who commit crimes are living examples of the collective shadow in action in our society today. So instead of facing our shadow head on, we're locking it up in a box in hopes that it'll just go away or that we'll forget about it. The only way to deal with our shadow is to confront it with the full light of day shining on it. Part of the process of shining light is by showing compassion to those shadow bringers that no one wants to talk about or acknowledge. We must pour our love into these folks and spend time and other resources on real rehabilitation and addressing root causes. We must not let them be taken advantage of by the prison industrial complex. Now more than ever, we need to acknowledge the injustices that are going on in the broken system and rebuild the structure to one of compassion and rehabilitation. Has anybody read the book Just Mercy by Brian Stevenson? It was made into a movie later as well, but it's a really powerful message. But he talks about how we take the most broken in our society, what I'm calling the shadow, Carl Jung's term, and then we continue to break them and lock them up instead of helping them. People who have mental health issues should be getting appropriate care. People with substance abuse issues need rehabilitation. They should be getting proper care. People with PTSD and childhood trauma need our help and care. Did you know that the vast majority of people who are imprisoned right now have more adverse childhood events that have happened to them than the rest of the population? That's insane. So the question remains, how can we help them? I think that we first need to acknowledge that they are us and they reflect the collective shadow. So then the next question is, how can you or me, bring light to the situation? How can you bring compassion to these people? That's where I come in, and I'd love to hear what you're doing or what you want to do to help these folks. I'm working from the work front. So once prisoners get out of prison, they need a job with a living wage, and they need help keeping that job. If they don't keep that job, they risk relapse or reoffending and getting locked back up again. So I teach employers how to make their workplaces better suited to help these folks be successful in the workplace. They do require some special accommodations. It's true. I outline what those considerations are to my clients and walk them through the process of creating a great work environment for their formerly incarcerated employees. I'd love to know how you're helping. Drop a comment below. Let me know. Thanks for your time.